talking about. Some little known truths about South Pacific. Number 1, I am Nellie Forbush. Number 2, it does happen across a crowded room. And if it doesn't, it should. And if it never has, it should be capable of happening that way someday. That is, if it's really love. Number 3, Bally High is a house of prostitution. Or at least an island with a house of prostitution on it. That's where the young sailor goes to get fucked. The girl he fucks is being sold by her mother, who has a beautiful song called Bally High, and he falls in love with the girl and wants to rescue her and take her away from the island of prostitution. And Bally High is the place we all wish we were, our favorite fantasy place. Its other name is Costa Rica. Number 4, just outside of San Jose in Costa Rica, in the suburb of Romoser, the houses are big and beautiful, but they are all protected with iron fences and sometimes even with barbed wire. You have to drive through the poor neighborhoods on the edge of town if you're going to the bathhouse, and those neighborhoods are very scary. When you get to the bathhouse, it's called Paris, and it seems like an historic building. When you get inside, there's a lovely little hall with a pretty picture of a nude man on it. But when you really get inside, you're in some 19th century vision of hell. The dark rooms haven't been cleaned in ages. Watch out, don't slip and fall. No hot water, no soap, ugly men walking around in towels, stains in the walls, the bed's ripped up, piss, shit, sperm, ugh, probably disease. But I met the most beautiful boys there. That's where you meet the most beautiful boys, which is why they call it Bally High. Also Paris. Number 5, Ian won't let me in. I am knocking at his door. I am knocking and I am saying, Ian, I am here and I love you and I know I'm not perfect, which he keeps reminding me. There's a part of him that he always keeps safe and locked away. I'll love him even if he never opens the safe. He has the key, but I would rather he opened it up and let me in. Do you think that might happen? And if so, when? Number 6. When we get our little house in Costa Rica, there will be a place for me to write poems like this and a place for Ian to make art. At night we will go downtown and have our peccadillos, or sometimes we will stay home and make out. No one will know that we are there. Or maybe they'll know but they won't care, and that's the way we'll like it. And Ian will go whitewater rafting and have adventures with white boys that he talks to, and I'll have dark silent boys to make love to, or maybe I'll learn the language. Who knows? Number 7. Happy talky, happy talk. Talk about things you like to do. You gotta have a dream, you gotta have a dream, or else how else you gonna make a dream come true? That's what the little Asian girl sings in South Pacific. 8. My uncle built the this is very important. And this is actually true, so pretty well. My uncle built the runway for the Enola Gay, the plane that dropped the bomb on the Japanese. Number 9. It's so wonderful and life is so sweet and we're all really the same color, aren't we? But excuse me, what is that color? Number 10. Purple flowers, mountains, clouds, palm trees in the wind. In December it rains in the middle of the afternoon for a few seconds and then it's gone. Number 11. It's a nice place to visit, but I would want to live there. That one. This is a poem for Keith Cole. I decided to read it because Keith Cole is here. And it also has Laura's name in it. And Laura's here, right? Yeah. Okay. And it's about a kind of experience of obsession that if you haven't had, I was going to say really judgmental, like something really judgmental, like it's awful if you haven't had it, but I'll just say if you haven't had it, you should. Poem for Keith's birthday. 1, call him. 2, date him. 3, fuck him. 4, tell yourself you'll forget him. 5, have trouble forgetting him. 6, cry a lot over him. 7, masturbate to his picture. 8, call him again, but tell him you're sorry for being such a pest. 9, hang out outside his house. 10, confront him on the street. 11, get yelled at by him. 12, collapse on the pavement, crying. 13, call Laura Cowell and tell her about what happened. 14, go home and create a performance piece about him. 15, pee on the stage, pee. For him. Number 16, fuck lots and lots of others, thinking only of him. Wake up, 17. Wake up in an alley with your jockstrap around your neck, thinking only of him. 18. Sneak into his house and steal his dirty underwear. 19. Go home and fall asleep, contented somehow with the underwear in your mouth. Number 20. Start all over again, this time with someone else. This last poem is a love poem, and it's so funny because I read this for the first time out loud a couple weeks ago, and Michael wasn't there, but I have to tell him that I do go over his edits very carefully, but I didn't realize that he cut the second line of the original line of his poem out, and I went to read it and it wasn't there. Well, the one good thing is somebody's already written about it and said there's no rhymes in the book, so you took one of the rhymes out, which is very important. But it was very funny because I was like, where's that line? But now I'm prepared. Because, by the way, Michael is the best editor in the world, and I know you just sort of like suck up to your editor, but that's... well, I shouldn't say this, but I actually have other editors. But he's the best editor, okay? If he was my only editor, it would seem like, you know, the one I chose. You were the one. That's the way it goes. A rose by any other name. I thought you were a nice guy. I had no idea you had a sleep disorder and Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. And, well, a lot of other things, too. Where do I begin? I mean, there's dyslexia, general irritableness and crankiness, and terminal messiness, punctuality issues, having to be early always. At least we're the first to get to the hors d'oeuvres, and control issues and style issues. You think I talk too much and too loudly, and all the things that drive you crazy about me, like the way I tap my foot, even when I told you that my grandfather did it too. You said genetics was no excuse, so we might as well add coldness and cruelty and emotional brutality to the list, and that's just the beginning, but you are the one I chose. So now I'm stuck with you. And I don't mind, for many reasons, but mainly because you hate the same movies and lean over to kiss me. It's like you're reaching up even though you're as tall as me. The best way I can explain it is that you love the world and hate it at the same time, which just